Welcome, this is Nathan, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to keep looking at the Alternative Future of the World Season 2 Part 4. I don't think I should be even seeing Season 2. In the last video, a ton happened. As we can see, the Axis completely crumbled. A lot of countries left, including Japan, which formed the Pacific League, the Middle Eastern countries, and as well as Mesopotamia. That's what I was trying to say. So Mesopotamia, Turkey, and Iran are all in the Middle East faction. We saw the British and the French gave autonomy to a lot of African colonies. And also the... what's this called again? The Mediterranean Order, I'm pretty sure I called it. I don't remember. I can't really remember. But as we know, we saw Germany invade Hungary, and that was it, as well as Soviet Union joining Japan's alliance because of, well, the guy being executed first off. But we're going to continue to look at this and see what happens, and we're going to begin with Africa. So in the last video, after the German and the UK's colonies, French and British colonies got autonomy, they didn't really want anything else. They just wanted to be free. But now that the Axis is no longer an issue, and the Pacific League it's an issue, but they have the USA for that. They're going to be wanting independent. The French aren't going to see an issue with this. They're actually going to say yes to giving them independence, beginning with this monstrosity here. They give independence to this, as well as coming over here to all these little countries, which are all, surprisingly, are very weak. France just gives independence to all of them. They don't even, care the slightest about them. Mauritania is the last one to be granted independence. But in Togo and Algeria, Chad and Cameroon, this monstrosity, they were not asking for independence as hard. No, actually, Algeria is quite comfortable in the alliance. And now it's time for the British turn. But here's the problem. The British don't want to give independence. They've said to their colonies, we ain't letting you go, because if we do, then we're in massive trouble. And this is going to lead to some unrest and actually break out into some wars. I'm not going to show you the wars, but South Africa is going to fight for their independence and actually win. Whatever this thing here is, this is going to get us independence. I don't, what even is this? And it's a massive country in Africa, so we actually see it break apart into Sudan and the Swahili coast, which I'm going to call it. Zimbabwe, that's what I'm going to call it. That's what I was trying to think of. Zimbabwe is going to leave as well. They're quite weak, but they're still strong. Not strong, but they're fine by themselves. And the final one to leave is going to be Egypt, who, the British are not on, they are not, they do not want to let Egypt go, honestly. The British, they kind of let these guys go because of the Civil War, but they are trying to keep Egypt in the alliance no matter what. Egypt's a really powerful country, but it's still going to lead to Egypt leaving. And the British Empire has just basically collapsed with that happening, and the Allies look weak. As they're not weak, but they look weak. I can imagine they'll still be able to fight the Pacific League in a 1v1, but yeah, they're not looking good. We're going to come over to the Middle Eastern faction now, actually, and they're going to add some more people to their alliance. The Middle Eastern faction, the Middle East faction is very... They don't have many people in their alliance, so they actually are going to add Saudi Arabia to their alliance, and nobody else is really going to join. North Yemen doesn't want to be part of it. Afghanistan's fighting itself. And out of that, there's not really any other countries in the Middle East to join this alliance. Coming over to the Axis, they can't exactly do anything, but Germany is trying to get more allies. The problem is, like, they can't. The only other country they can really get hold of is Mexico, but Mexico is not joining because, again, like I said, they do somehow, in one weird reality, get hold of Nicaragua, who's going to fight for them, and who's going to be able to just fight themselves until they figure out which leader they want. But for wars, not many are going to be breaking out. One I'm going to point out is going to be, well, I think you saw this coming. Japan is going to declare war on the remainder of China. You guys know in this series, China has been through a lot. They were invaded by Japan in the very first episode, and now they're getting re-invaded. Japan's not going to go easy. Japan is not going to go easy. Japan's the strongest country in the world, and they probably have technology from Switzerland, but I actually don't know. China lost all their valuable land after the war, after World War II, and ever since they've been struggling, and they never even joined an alliance. They're gonna ask out, and they were close to the Allies, but see, the Allies are crumbling, and they don't give a crap. They literally do not give a crap about what's happening to China. No matter how bad this looks, they're not gonna give a crap. And there is one issue with this, and well, for China, that Japan doesn't have an issue. All this is a valuable land, and the areas that are now coloured in red, that's the next most valuable. The rest is wasteland. And, you know, the Japanese tanks and troops are going to roll on right through, finding any straggler troops that run around. And after they capture all the remaining good land, Xinjiang's going to surrender. Yep, I just said Xinjiang. Xinjiang got hold of the entire thing and just surrendered. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So in the peace treaty, Japan's going to annex a humongous chunk out of China. They annex about all this land. I don't know how to draw the borders. They annex about this much. So that was really the only valuable piece left. This centerpiece right here was what remained of China, and it was turned into a puppet. And then Xinjiang is just being released. Japan was going to make them a puppet, but because they just surrendered, Japan said, well, no, you know what? We're just going to let you independent, which, you know, that is kind of nice for the Japanese. They're not ruthless, they're not heartless, they do have some nice in them. But this is going to be kind of the standpoint for Japan. They don't have anywhere left. The only place they can even invade now is Mongolia. Like, imagine Mongolia is absolutely pooping their pants right now because they're fully surrounded by the Pacific League. I mean, they just told what happened to China. They would definitely not be able to hold up as China did. Now we're going to come back over to Africa. Well, I forgot something. I forgot to say this, but Nigeria declared their independence, and Ghana declared their independence. And this is going to lead to Benin and Togo also asking for their independence, which the French are going to just do. Now, the reason they wanted to get their independence is not because they wanted to be independent, it's because they're uniting with the Saharan Union. Yeah, this area is not going to last much longer, so Benin and Togo were like, you know what, we'll just let you have some coast. Which, again, that's nice. Ghana's just like, hell no, same with Nigeria. So, yeah, they're fine from now on, but, maybe not now. I don't know what else is going to happen. Honestly, not much else can happen. There's a lot of neutrality. There's not much neutrality. But we are going to come over to Germany where they are going to do something quite interesting. And that is going over to the Baltic state puppet and annexing it. Why would they do this? Well, see, the Baltics want to just be independent, and Norway's doing the same thing, but Norway's definitely not going to get independent. So, Germany just started to annex the Baltics. I don't know if that's going to make it easier or harder to keep hold of. And tensions between the Mediterranean order and Germany are definitely rising right now. Because Germany wants to take over Romania and Italy, but they're fascist, but Italy is going away from fascism as well as these three. I don't even know Ukraine was fascist. But now we're going to come back over to the Middle East faction, and they are going to do something really dumb. Well, not dumb, but Iran, the leader of this faction, yes, Iran's the leader of this faction, they are going to declare war on Afghanistan. I've just realised this is kind of funny because Iran declared war on Afghanistan the first season, they're doing it again. However, like in the first season, this is going to go extremely well. See, this is ages and this is in the future. Afghanistan does not have advanced technology like Iran does now from Switzerland. So, Afghanistan's going to die. Yeah, Afghanistan's just going to die. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So in the peace treaty, we just have Afghanistan given a new government which joins the Middle East faction, and they're kind of at the limit where they can expand at this point. But don't worry, they're gonna keep expanding. They are gonna keep expanding. And if we look out, we can see that North America and South America are very neutral. The USA is definitely ally leaning. Mexico is Axis leaning, and Nicaragua's on the Axis and Canada's on the Allies. There's no country over here, like, all the countries are very friendly, except for like Mexico and Nicaragua, but every other country is extremely friendly. Nobody wants to be at war with each other. So, nothing's gonna happen over there. And now we're going to come back to the Mediterranean Order, where they add a new member to their alliance. That member is going to be Egypt. Now, this alliance is definitely coming to its name. They've got a good chunk of the Mediterranean, and in all reality, they don't really need much more left. Italy wants to be Rome, and I can imagine they will have to work out some stuff with Bulgaria and Egypt. And also they have the issue with France, as well as Spain, but I can imagine Italy will figure that out. But now we have a pretty major event happening, and that is the Pacific League announcing that they will not. The Pacific League is basically saying that they are not afraid to attack any alliance if it comes to it. So that would include Axis, the Middle East, the Mediterranean Order, and the Allies. And honestly, everyone's scared, because this Pacific League continues to get stronger and stronger. Mongolia is trying to repeat them, but good luck with that, buddy. I don't think that's going to work, and I don't even know if you're going to last until the end of this series. Japan wants to keep expanding, but they have an issue, they can't. But we're going to come over back to Asia. We're going to come to India. See, here we go. India, if you think of it, India is made up of Bangladesh, Pakistan, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and India itself. That would never work. So, India is part of the British Empire, and they asked for their independence, and they are granted it. but they should have not asked for their independence as they break out into a civil war. Now, the Allies can get involved in this if they want to, but they're not. And it may be a bit obvious who's funded this. Wink wink, I think we know what countries have funded this. But immediately Pakistan is going to declare their independence and become their own rebellion. And this is not good for the British Raj. This is kind of worrying if they think about it. We also see that is really light. We also see Bangladesh declare their independence, which is kind of worrying for the British Raj, because Bangladesh has cut them off from, well, the rest of their country. So we see Bangladesh doing some pretty good moves around Myanmar, and Myanmar is going to actually join Bangladesh. And again, India is now even more scared because they just lost even more land, and Bangladesh is huge. Myanmar will be granted its independence. Bangladesh has always said they will allow that to happen. Next up, we see a massive rebellion down here form, which I don't even know what this would be called. Whatever this thing is, it's going to declare its independence from India, and it's going to be a massive problem for India. I think Pakistan's actually their biggest issue. Yeah, they're no longer the British Raj, they're just India. So India now is trying to fight Pakistan, but it's not exactly working too well. We have the capturing of New Delhi as well as Delhi, and Pakistan is doing extremely well. Bangladesh, the weakest rebellion, is going to continue to move around and actually cut off the coast of India, well, one of the coasts of India, and this rebellion down here, which I'm going to call the Mumbaian rebellion, because it's got Mumbai in it, they're going to capture this coast, making India landlocked. And, well, it's kind of obvious what's going to happen. India is just going to completely collapse. Eventually, they're going to surrender to Pakistan, so let's take a look at this peace treaty. So in the peace treaty, Pakistan, this monstrosity down here is released. Myanmar, Bangladesh all released, and then the remainder of India is kind of just, it's chilling. It's right here. But we can also see that two new countries have been formed, and these were basically just separate parts that wanted to declare independence from Pakistan and stuff. They allowed it. They didn't see an issue. But anyway, that's going to be for this video, so I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in season 2, part 5.